Welcome back, viewers, to the latest researches and news. We have breaking developments to bring you from the Ethiopia Sudan border. Earlier today, residents in the area around Kurmuk reported hearing gunfire, raising concerns that a second active front may be opening along this border. Since then, the Rapid Support Forces have put out a claim that they've retaken control of the town. According to the latest statement from the Rapid Support Forces, their fighters have retaken Kurmuk, also referred to in some reports as Kurmuk or Kurmuk. The group says its forces liberated the town after a battle, claims to have inflicted heavy losses on the Sudanese army, says it pursued retreating troops, and reports that it seized weapons in the process. Some sources indicate that drone strikes hit the area first, followed by a ground assault launched from across the Ethiopian border. It's worth noting the town reportedly had only a limited permanent army presence, mainly patrols, since being recaptured back in July, and many civilians had already fled the area before this latest round of fighting. As of now, the Sudanese army has not publicly confirmed or denied this claim in the reporting available to us, and it's worth remembering that control claims in this conflict have shifted back and forth repeatedly and are genuinely difficult to verify independently from the ground. For anyone who hasn't been following this specific town, it's worth explaining why it keeps reappearing in the news. Kurmuk sits in southeastern Sudan, right near the border with Ethiopia in Blue Nile State. Blue Nile State itself has become one of the key flashpoints in Sudan's broader war because of its geography. Whoever controls it effectively holds a gateway towards central Sudan, and the state also borders Ethiopia, which Sudanese authorities have accused, alongside the United Arab Emirates, of backing the Rapid Support Forces allegations both countries have denied. More specifically, Kurmuk itself functions as a strategic corridor connecting Blue Nile and Sinai states, and it provides access to important infrastructure, including the Al Roziers Dam. Controlling Kurmuk is also important because it restricts or enables the Rapid Support Forces supply lines running through Ethiopia, directly affecting the group's ability to advance further into Blue Nile State. This is also why the town has changed hands multiple times already. The Rapid Support Forces and Allied Sudan People's Liberation Movement North fighters first seized Kurmuk back in March, and the Sudanese army recaptured it on July 8th after heavy fighting. In early August, a mass grave containing roughly 25 bodies, including women, children, and hospital staff, was reportedly found in the town, with local officials attributing the killings to the Rapid Support Forces' earlier period of control. So, beyond its strategic road and infrastructure value, this town also carries a heavy recent history of civilian harm, which adds another layer to why any change of control there draws immediate international attention. This latest claim doesn't appear to be an isolated event. On August 12th, the Rapid Support Forces claimed to have taken the nearby town of Gaysan, also known as Gaysan. Reports also describe a broader offensive in which Rapid Support Forces and Sudan People's Liberation Movement North linked fighters reportedly crossed into Blue Nile State from the direction of Ethiopia's Benishangul Gumuz region, advancing toward Gaysan and claiming to have captured both that town and a military position known as Umo Shawafa, after Sudanese army units and allied Simdo forces reportedly withdrew. Fighting along the Ethiopia border more broadly has reportedly intensified in recent days, with the Rapid Support Forces launching attacks on multiple points, including drone strikes elsewhere in Sudan. Sudanese officials have repeatedly accused the Rapid Support Forces of staging cross-border operations from Ethiopian territory. Ethiopia has denied this. Separately, on Thursday, the Sudanese Army and Allied Joint Forces reported repelling a major Rapid Support Forces assault on the town of Jabrat al-Sheikh in North Kordofan, claiming to have destroyed dozens of vehicles and captured around 65 others in that engagement, showing that this isn't a single front situation, but a conflict pushing on several fronts at once. At this stage, it genuinely isn't clear which side initiated the very latest fighting around Kurmuk, and more information from the ground is still needed before that can be established with confidence. Away from the Sudan border, there is also a separate claim worth noting briefly. The Amhara Fano National Movement has claimed that more than 70 Ethiopian government soldiers, including members of a commando unit, were killed during clashes in Angagutin district, Welika zone, on August 9th, a claim reported through a pro-Fano media outlet. This casualty figure has not been independently verified, and Ethiopian government authorities have not publicly commented. The same outlet also alleged that government forces burned civilian homes afterward, describing it as retaliation against communities suspected of supporting Fano again, an allegation that could not be independently verified. Access to conflict-affected areas across Ethiopia remains limited, which is a big part of why claims like this one are so hard to confirm either way. So where does this leave us? I want to leave you with two real questions rather than firm predictions, because that's genuinely where things stand right now. First, will the Sudanese army attempt another counter-offensive to retake Kurmuk, the way it did back in July, or does the loss of Ogesan and Umoshawafa alongside this climb suggest the army's position in that corridor has weakened enough that a quick recapture is less likely this time? Second, if the Rapid Support Forces genuinely hold Kurmuk and the surrounding towns along this stretch, does that increase pressure on the Ethiopia-Sudan border relationship? Given Sudan's repeated accusations about cross-border activity, or does it stay a contained, localized flashpoint the way previous changes of control here have, at least so far? We'll be tracking both of these questions closely as more information comes in from the ground. This remains a fast-moving and hard-to-verify situation, so we'll update you the moment there's confirmation from either the Sudanese army or independent sources. Thanks for watching.